Fear periods in dogs. All you need to know. Fear periods in dogs start when dogs are still puppies and pop up again here and there, during several stages of development. Being aware of these fear periods is important so that you know how to tackle them and help your puppy mature into a dog with a well-rounded temperament. These fear periods in dogs take place several times during several important stages of development. While fear periods may appear worrisome, if tackled correctly they can be turned around into valuable teaching moments. Fear periods in dogs don't occur for no rhyme nor reason. Rather, it's carefully orchestrated events set forward by Mother Nature for survival purposes. To better understand fear periods in dogs, it helps to take a look back at their evolutionary purpose back in the time when a dog's ancestors lived in the wild. What are fear periods in dogs? Fear periods are phases of the puppy's life when they undergo a peak time of sensitivity to fear. Puppies during these times may show signs of stress or fear for no apparent reason. Their ability to bounce back may appear impaired. During this time, it's very important you help your puppies feel as safe as possible. It's unfortunate that the making of a fearful adult dog can be tracked down to some negative or traumatic experience taking place during these critical periods. What are the purpose of fear periods in dogs? Fear periods may seem like just a random developmental time, but it turns out, there is an evolutionary advantage in them. To better understand this, let's take a look back in time, when a dog's ancestors lived in the wild. Back in the olden days, Mother Wolf would give birth to puppies in a den. The den area helps keep Mother Dog and her pups safe from predators and the weather. When puppies are very young, they are in a rather helpless state. They are born blind, deaf and unable to regulate their temperatures. On top of this, day-old puppies are unable to eliminate on their own and rely on their mother's tongues to stimulate them to eliminate. On top of stimulating them to eliminate, mother dogs will also ingest the pup's waste so to keep the den area clean and not attract predators. However, as the puppies mature, things start to change. Puppies open their eyes, at around 10 days and they start hearing. This is a time of exploration. As puppies continue to develop, they move out of the den and expand their territory. As pups explore the great outdoors, Mother Nature instills fear periods so to protect the pups from acts of boldness which could turn out being bad choices, or dangerous. It can therefore be said that main purpose of fear periods in puppies is to instill in them a sense of caution at a delicate time when they expand their horizons and are exposed to novelties, and dangers. However, these fear periods are less pronounced in domestic dogs compared to their wild counterparts. This is because dogs are distant ancestors and are only versions of wolves, and domestication has yielded smaller, less reactive adrenal glands. Signs of a fear period. Puppies may show a variety of signs suggesting they may be in a fear period. Startling, tentatively approaching something, engaging in the approach avoidance dance, barking at stimuli, hiding. Puppy fear priming starts at 5 weeks. This is not really a fear period as such, but it's a time when a puppy's neurological system has developed the ability to have a fearful reaction. This time coincides with weaning. In the wild, the puppy will start to puppy first fear period, 8-20 weeks. In the wild, this time coincides with the pups moving out of the den and establishing more connections with the social group. In a domestic setting, this time coincides with the pups going to their new homes and meeting their new owners. It also often coincides with when puppies are taken to the vet for vaccination. During this time, the puppy is also in his prime time of the critical socialization period. In the wild, this time coincides with the pup learning more about his whereabouts and what is safe and what is not. It is therefore important at this time not to go exposing puppies to traumatic experiences which may have a long-lasting effect and may generalize to other stimuli or situations. For example, if a puppy is accidentally stepped upon as a 9-week-old, he may develop a chronic fear of feet or shoes. Many adult phobic reactions in dogs may have their origins stemming from experiences occurring during this period, points out Stephen Lindsay in his Handbook of Dog Behavior and Training. During this time, pups may show reactions to things that they previously had no response to. Puppies between 8 and 20 weeks of age appear to be especially sensitive to the effects of fearful stimulation. At 8 weeks, a pup's vision isn't still fully functioning. This takes place at around 10 weeks. It is therefore possible that this sight adjustment period, along with the confusion it may cause, may be one of the contributing factors to this fear period, points out Jerry Hope in the book, The Breeder's Guide to Raising Superstar Dogs. Some breeders may decide to keep their dogs in their homes longer, until 10 to 15 weeks, so to prevent any possible problems associated with going to a new home. This can be a good thing as long as the breeder is dedicated to providing ongoing socializing. If the breeder isn't going to provide the socialization, you are better off taking the puppy home with you, keeping an eye for any signs of a fear period and helping your pup sail through it, and continuing the socialization yourself. Another fear period is around 8 to 15 months. This period may vary from dog to dog. It could last a few days or weeks or even a month. How long it lasts may vary on several individual factors such as breed, socialization history, genetics, etc. During this time, the juvenile pup may bark at some things they may have seen over and over in the past. Oftentimes, this leaves owners surprised considering how their adolescent dogs have been acting rather confident prior to this. This fear period coincides with the pup's growth spurts, and possible calcium deficiencies, as he goes through the difficult teenager stage with its ups and downs. Due to this fear imprinting period taking place when the dog is juvenile and undergoing growth spurts, this fear period is often nicknamed the juvenile. In the wild, this would be a time when the juvenile dogs would be about to finish their guarding instruction from the omega adults, babysitters, with other members of the social group. Fear may therefore have had an adaptive purpose during this time. However, it's not written in stone. There are no black and white age ranges for fear periods in dogs. This is because every dog develops differently. The above age ranges are therefore rough estimates on when to expect fear to pop up. Single event learning. Single event learning is the ability to learn from a single exposure that has a long-lasting effect. When puppies are exposed to a single event that they perceive as frightening, this can have an everlasting effect that may persist for the rest of the puppy's life. Stephen Lindsay reports about an 8.5-year-old puppy who after being stung by a bee developed a lasting fear of flying insects that persisted for over 10 years despite thousands of safe exposures. The importance of bouncing back. Puppies may often act hesitant or startle as a result of fear, but the most important factor is they are able to recuperate and bounce back. Usually, these pups can be redirected, and if the problem persists, they can often be reintroduced gradually to fear-inducing stimuli again. However, when pups struggle to recover, become more fearful, hide or withdraw from the world, they need immediate behavioral help. Some pups may benefit from a visit to a behavior specialist and perhaps even the use of vet-prescribed medications. Yes, they can be used even on young puppies. This helps nip a potentially problematic behavior in the bud before it has the time to establish. How do I help my puppy during a fear phase? Fear is one of the top reasons why dogs develop behavior problems and are relinquished to shelters. You can take several steps when you notice the first signs of fear. For instance, you can redirect your puppy using a happy tone as you say something along the lines of, "Hey there. Look at what I found," as you bounce a ball or toss a treat to the ground and walk the opposite way. If you can identify any fear-inducing stimuli or situations, make a note of it and then use desensitization and counterconditioning techniques using a less intense version of the stimulus or situation to help them overcome them. Desensitization entails strategic low-level exposures that aren't overwhelming to the dog. For example, with a puppy fearful of strangers, you would avoid exposing him to strangers who stare, loom over and heavily pat your dog on the head. Rather, you would practice first having strangers just walk by at a distance, while ignoring your puppy and then gradually move closer as the puppy accepts the stranger and shows less or no fear or stress. Desensitization should be accompanied by counterconditioning, which entails creating positive associations. As strangers walk by, you can feed your puppy treats. Avoid having strangers handing treats to your puppy. This could pave the path to approach avoidance behaviors. It may be better if you're the one giving treats. What is approach avoidance conflict in dogs? Full intensity, potentially traumatic exposures should be avoided. Once your puppy goes into fight or flight mode, his adrenaline is pumping, and the primitive brain takes over seeking a fast way out. Should you put your hand down or attempt to block, there is a very good chance the dog will strike at the moving hand/leg and bite. Add to this the fact that fear is highly reinforcing and therefore it can leave a strong impression on a growing pup to the point of learning to use avoidance primarily versus learning to cope and stay calm. Safe, gradual exposures instead will help the puppy develop emotional resilience to novelties. The important thing is to pave the path for a strong bond with your puppy. Puppies who form a secure attachment are better capable of coping with fear, and this helps the learning process. What to do if you notice your puppy has noticed something and he appears concerned about it? Consider that in general, puppies do better when they are engaged in some motor activity or movement rather than being passive and standing still. So, prompt your pup to follow you on leash so to create distance and reinforce your pup for tagging along. Always appear calm and confident. If you start acting frightened too, your pup may look at you and freak out even more because you have confirmed his fears. Yes, I should be frightened, just look at how my owner is reacting. Don't expect puppies to just get over it. There's a common trend going on over the internet, for puppy owners to expose their pups to a multitude of neutral stimuli, just hoping their pups get used to it. There is also a common trend where puppy owners expose their pups to fear-inducing stimuli. I have to be honest, any trainers who subscribe to this form of training shouldn't even be around dogs. Both these approaches defeat the main purpose of socialization. For socialization to have positive effects, don't just aim to merely expose your puppy to stimuli in situations hoping for the best. Rather, aim to create positive associations with them through the use of food, play and toys. On top of this, keeping on exposing puppies to full-intensity forms of their triggers in hopes of them getting over it should be avoided at all costs. These risk sensitizing them, which only makes matters worse. So, in conclusion, fear periods in dogs is natural, nature's way of keeping dogs safe from harm. It gives the dogs awareness of their vulnerability to their environment. If your dog shows signs of fear, it's up to you to be the advocate to your dog and reassure them that you have the situation under control. Gentle and confidently encourage your dog that the world they live in is not such a scary place. If you're struggling to deal with fear in your dog, don't just blunder on. Or try to find the solution on the internet. The bad training advice you can find there could tip your dog over the edge. Thereafter very little can be done. You're going to have to employ a competent canine behavior specialist, at great expense. Sadly, the internet has been inundated with legends, myths and quite honestly complete fools. As with a lot of industries of the dog training world, we have fallen foul to scammers who are giving bad advice to you. As the dog training industry is not regulated, anyone can say they're a dog trainer. Here at WTF Dog Training, we're here to dispel the myths, the legends and simply the complete fools, giving bad advice. Please don't subscribe to services that are just there to scam you. Do your research into training subscriptions. Here at WTF Dog Training, we work in conjunction with the Happy Dog Training Academy, holder of the Global Innovative Dog Training Award 2025. If you find the information helpful, please like and share to your friends of the dog world. We're here to help you and your fur babies.